Hey, level casters. Today's lesson takes us on an incredible journey, not just across the globe, but into the vast unknown of space. We're going to explore the space race, a thrilling competition between two powerful nations that shaped history and pushed the limits of human ingenuity. Imagine a time after a big global conflict, World War II, when the world was divided into two main camps: the United States, a capitalist democracy, and the Soviet Union, a communist state. These two superpowers, as they were called, had very different ideas about how the world should work. This disagreement led to a period known as the Cold War, a time of tension and rivalry, but without direct fighting between them. Instead, they competed in many ways, and one of the most exciting and visible arenas for this competition was space. Both countries wanted to show the world that their scientific and technological systems were superior. It wasn't just about rockets and satellites, it was about national pride, political influence, and demonstrating who had the best ideas for the future. The space race was born out of this intense rivalry, a quest to be the first, the best, and the most advanced in exploring the cosmos. It was a time of huge risks, incredible discoveries, and moments that captured the imagination of people all over the planet. People watched with bated breath as each side announced its new achievements, hoping their country would be the first to reach the next milestone. This wasn't just science, it was a grand spectacle, a human drama unfolding on a global stage. The stakes were incredibly high, and the world was watching. So, buckle up, level casters, as we launch into the story of this extraordinary period. The starting gun for the space race fired on October 4, 1957, when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1. Imagine the surprise and, for many in the West, the shock. Sputnik was the world's first artificial satellite, a small, metallic sphere about the size of a beach ball, with 4 long antennae. It didn't do much except orbit the Earth and emit a simple, beep-beep, radio signal. But that, beep-beep, was heard around the world, and it sounded like a victory cry for the Soviets. For the United States, it was a wake-up call, a Sputnik moment, as it became known. It showed that the Soviets were ahead in rocket technology, which also had military implications, as the same rockets could carry nuclear weapons. This event pushed the U.S. into action, leading to significant investments in science education and research. The race was on. Just a month later, on November 3, 1957, the Soviets scored another major first. Sputnik 2 carried a living creature, a dog named Laika, into space. Sadly, Laika did not survive the mission, but it proved that living beings could endure spaceflight. These early Soviet successes created a sense of urgency in the U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower established NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, in 1958, to lead America's space efforts. The goal was clear: catch up and then surpass the Soviets. Both nations poured vast resources into developing more powerful rockets, better spacecraft, and training brave individuals who would become astronauts and cosmonauts. The pressure was immense, and the world watched every launch, every triumph, and every setback. The space race was not just about technology, it was also about the brave men and women who risked their lives to push the boundaries of what was possible. Each side had its heroes, its scientists, and its engineers working tirelessly, often in secret, to achieve the next big leap. The space race reached its most intense phase with the competition to put a human on the moon. After the initial Soviet successes, the U.S. was determined to win this ultimate prize. On April 12, 1961, the Soviet Union achieved another historic first. Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space, orbiting Earth once. His famous words, "Poyakali, let's go," echoed across the globe. This was another huge triumph for the Soviets and a blow to American pride. However, just a few weeks later, on May 5, 1961, Alan Shepard became the first American in space, though his flight was a shorter suborbital one. President John F. Kennedy, realizing the political and scientific importance of this race, made a bold declaration on May 25, 1961. He challenged the nation to land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth, before this decade is out. This ambitious goal, known as the Apollo program, galvanized the entire country. Thousands of scientists, engineers, and technicians worked tirelessly. There were setbacks, including a tragic fire during an Apollo 1 test that killed 3 astronauts. But the program pushed forward. Finally, after years of preparation and several successful Apollo missions, the moment arrived. On July 20, 1969, Apollo 11, carrying Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, reached the moon. As Neil Armstrong stepped onto the lunar surface, he uttered those immortal words. "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." This was a monumental achievement, watched by an estimated 600 million people worldwide. The United States had won the race to the moon, fulfilling Kennedy's challenge. It was a moment of immense national pride and a demonstration of what humanity could achieve with dedication and teamwork. The image of Armstrong's footprint on the dusty lunar surface became an enduring symbol of human exploration and triumph. The landing of Apollo 11 on the moon is often seen as the unofficial end of the space race, at least in its most competitive form. While the Soviets continued their space program, focusing more on long-duration space stations, they never managed to land a human on the moon. The intense rivalry began to cool down, giving way to a new era of cooperation. A symbolic moment of this shift occurred in 1975 with the Apollo-Soyuz test project, where American and Soviet spacecraft docked together in orbit, and their crews met and shook hands. This joint mission showed that even former rivals could work together for scientific advancement. The space race, despite its origins in Cold War competition, left an incredible legacy for all of humanity. It led to countless technological innovations that we still use today, from satellite communication and weather forecasting to GPS and even everyday items like memory foam. It pushed the boundaries of science and engineering, inspiring generations of scientists, engineers, and explorers. More importantly, it expanded our understanding of the universe and our place within it. It showed us that with enough courage, determination, and collaboration, humans can achieve seemingly impossible feats. The space race taught us about perseverance, innovation, and the power of a shared goal. It transformed not only our technological capabilities but also our perspective on Earth and beyond, reminding us of the fragility and beauty of our home planet as seen from space. The spirit of exploration ignited during those years continues to inspire new missions to Mars and beyond, proving that humanity's journey into space is far from over.
The space race was truly amazing.
Yes, it was such an exciting time.
Sputnik 1 started everything, right?
That's correct, in 1957.
It must have been a big shock.
It certainly was for the U.S.
And Laika the dog went next.
Yes, a brave animal.
Then Yuri Gagarin became first in space.
A huge moment for the Soviets.
President Kennedy then made his moon promise.
That goal inspired many people.
Landing on the moon was incredible.
Neil Armstrong's words are famous.
So the U.S. won the moon race.
They did indeed, in 1969.
What an achievement for humanity.
It led to so many new technologies.
Like GPS, right?
Exactly, and satellite communication.
The space race changed the world.
It really did. Keep learning, Levelcasters.
That's all for today. Keep it up, and we'll see you in the next Levelcast lesson.